Welcome to the Bro Show Live, everybody. We have special guest, Miss Nudie, this evening. So it's going to be a good show. I'm glad you guys could all make it. I hope everybody is doing well.
Welcome, Miss Nudie. Thank you for joining us very much. Miss Nudie, of course, we know her from the Growing with My Fellow Growers show. She does Hydro Hustlers and along a lot of other stuff. Skillbo, myself, and Spartan met her years and years ago. We've been doing this show for 3 years. So we met her even prior to that.
So crazy, man.
She's the director of cultivation at Stewart Farms in Canada up there. She's in Leafly articles about being one of the best female growers in Canada. Miss Nudie is very accomplished, and we're happy to have her on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me okay and see me okay?
We can hear you fine. Here, let's see how well we can see you. You look good. We had a little bit of connection difficulty in the pre-show, so we had to check that stuff.
This is where I have the best Wi-Fi right now, so welcome to my bed.
Hey. It's like the old Fox viewing positions, from Family. Was it Married with Children? They used to have to hold the antenna, and one view would be over here, and one person there, one leg up.
This is the intimate setting.
This is the evening.
This is live from the boudoir.
Cheers from one cat lady to another.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got a butt in the camera over there.
Hey, look at that.
She's the cat's ass.
Yeah.
That's join us later. Yeah.
Right now, it looks like Painted Lady has a
third
tail.
eye if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm.
I need a prehensile tail. I could get so much more done with that. Red, what are you holding up?
Citrique.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited.
excited.
I've been watching. Me and Skilbo used to be on a show together once.
Yeah, man. Way back in the OG days of the Cheap Home Grow.
Gotcha. We were OGs on that show.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
On there. I don't know if we still have access to that old stuff, but Shane's podcast was the first podcast I ever did, and I was just infusing weed and barely growing weed in my kitchen or in my. So it's just been a whirlwind. That was back in 2015 or 2000.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it me, you, and Chef of MJ that did that three-way one before we even? That was even before we started doing Growing with My Fellow Growers. That was when it was just a three-way
podcast before.
Oh, the three-way, huh?
Yeah,
that's a three-way call, man. Come on now. Just because we're streaming live from the boudoir doesn't mean we have to get all down and dirty with it. Everybody pay attention to Painted Lady's tail. Oh, now it disappears.
He needed his moment. Yeah. Sorry about that.
He got his attention. Now he's gone. This.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to see the growth for you personally and through the professional cultivation space in the years that we've known you, up to being a director of cultivation now. Like you said, you're barely growing back in the day, and now here you are, a big timer, and we would love to hear more about your journey, of course. You guys grow with fishes. You grow aquaponically, which I thought was very, very neat. So I would like to cover that as well during this show.
Yeah, totally. Aquaponics is really new to me. I just started thinking about it once I went over to where I am right now on the East Coast. Before that, I was strictly doing hydroponics and salt.
Hydro Hustlers.
That's right.
So now with the aquaponics, is it all organic, or is there still like I don't know, like an input that you might not consider organic that you use?
Completely all Omni approved, organic, living soil with fish waste, like R&D basically. We don't use the aquaponics for everything right now, and we're doing dual root zones.
Nice.
So, it's like we're trying to gear up for when we go we're in phase 1 right now, so we have a phase 2 planned, and then phase 3 would be a vertical grow operation in our larger space with full aquaponics. But right now in our smaller space, which is about 10,000 square feet, we are just running the R&D part, so we got to dial it in before we upscale,
Absolutely. You can't commit to the cost without making sure that you've got a method that's going to work and all of that sort of stuff.
So right now the
I was
tilapia
look-
are a lot like pets.
I like PEX. I was just used PEX for the first time myself to fix my water pipes in my house. I love that shit now.
I saw them. I saw those pipes.
And especially for burying them.
You know what I'm talking about?
You know, if you're in a cold area, those pipes expand a little bit, whereas PVC is just going to bust, right? So you might find some benefit there if you're here in Michigan or the Great White North.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where I came from out west, it was a lot colder out there than it is out here, which is well yeah, I even got some stuff in my storage.
Sweet.
Everyone's always excited to see the fish. And so we let people feed the fish and the fish are friendly. They know who I am there. You can see it.
Yeah, they
No,
do.
Do the fish live there the whole time, or are they harvested at any time, or are they producing food as well, or what are they doing?
Gone past the point of where they're consumable. You can still consume them, but they're not sellable because they're just too big. But they're too mature, I guess. But
Damn, look at that. You want bubbles?
2
You
years
got
ago,
bubbles.
yeah, that's the poop. That's the stuff I use. I get covered in fish shit quite a bit.
Fish shit smells terrible too, by the way.
Just coming into that room, like
All those microbes, though, is building a good immune system for you.
yeah, they are. I don't know. We're just from
Beautiful.
preliminary R&D that I'm seeing. The plants that we are using the fish shit on is it's like we're seeing it as more of a resistancy coating or like something that's helping protect the plant's root zone from like nutrient toxicity, for example. You know, some of the ammonias are being turned into nitrates so that the plants can absorb it. You know, it's not like we're not treating it like as a food, I guess, but more of like a microbiome to add to the living soil biome that's already in
Like a microbe product, you're adding microbes.
by I guess like microbial mass, or if you think of it like that, or like fish. There's an actual product called fish shit.
Yeah, yep, I like that product too.
Yeah, that's like that. So like where we could eventually produce something that would be able to help other people or be a sellable product.
Now, is that facility the same place you're doing that massive pheno hunt, or is that a different facility?
We're running a lot of different, like we have 3 scientists on staff there, so I don't pretend to know or be all of everything in there, especially the science part. I'm more of the assistant. I have 1 scientist right on my team right now, and so we are able to design different things that we want to know about. Right now we're running a couple of different studies on 2 different living soils, and then also the effect of our fish waste with the fish getting different diets, and then also against the 2 different soils, so water or just H2O versus like feeding it every single day with fish waste.
Right. Is it all in the same cultivar too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dosicate.
nice.
It's our most
That's
style.
cool.
So we chose her. She's very stress resistant. The Groot plant, the plant that I have in the Groot pot is a dosey cake, and she's already in week 4 and no deficiencies. Like, and so like that's a stable fucking genetic. Because that
Yeah, that's a small ass little fucking. I'm surprised you don't have any deficiencies yet.
water stay just like the rest of them.
Nice. It's crazy.
I've always loved the challenge of putting a big plant in a tiny pot like that and trying to, or like the growers that'll run them in solo cups or even smaller shot glasses.
That painted
sort of
lady.
deal.
She's our proven resident. She's
Oh,
a
that's
solo
right.
cup grower, and then she's got those monsters she just showed off in the late session. Those, what are those, 3 gallons, painted lady?
Yep. But they're about to be potted up skill ball. We'll talk about it later. Yeah.
We'll get it to it.
And Ms. Nudie, I loved your Baby Groot mascot that you put everywhere. I think that is so funny. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. You know, since I got there, every monocrop that we run, and this is still considered a monocrop, we're still going to sell it after. I use a Groot. So the Groot gets reused, rewashed, reset, relive.
I like it. It's cute.
It's very, very reflective of us as a team. So the place like that I run is, like I said, 10,000 square feet. And then I only have really one other person under me who is like my right hand. And so we have, 3,000 plants between 2.5 cultivars basically. And I can't be there full time because I'm also like full-time sales and marketing now, and like full-time post-harvest, full-time sanitation, full-time, just everything else. So it's pretty crazy. Like I enjoy the chaos quite a bit. And so not just that farm, but I also direct and power out 3 micro cultivation facilities in the province next door in Nova Scotia. So I travel there now quite a bit to
What does that mean as far as Canadian law goes? What are those facilities like, the size, the plant count, that type of deal?
So those facilities, 1,000 square feet of canopy space. And so the reason we're working with these micro facilities is because as a licensed producer, we can cultivate and package, manufacture, and sell everything ourselves, but they make it a lot more difficult for a micro cultivation facility to do those things. And so really they have to reach out to licensed producers to get help to sell their product. And so most places will do that, but it's almost like an acquisition or it's like a rebranding. And so they take it and then it's like a white label product they can rebrand into their own big factory name. Like you guys all know what they do out there. It's the same kind of thing out here. So what we're doing is, instead of doing that, we're working with these 3 micro, and we want more too. We're building like a community. So they get to brand their own stuff, but we're helping do it. So we'll have a small little label that says like powered by Stewart Farms, but it is grown and cultivated and sold in their local province.
That's cool.
Rather than just the big guys.
Yeah, I like that. I like that everybody gets credit, on it. That's cool. I like to have the grower credit and then the processor credit. I think everybody should have credit for their work if they put work into it in one way, shape, or form. I think that's great that that they can have their mark on the package at least, so that they can.
Other than just like paying for a service or whatever, and then not even getting any in the end.
It's just that I think it matters so much more in this industry because I'm sure Canada is similar, but it may be worse. But there is really restrictive on the advertising of any products when it comes to cannabis. So to be able to at least get maybe your logo or some kind of credit on that, that's like almost sometimes the only marketing we'll say you can even participate in some markets.
Yeah, like when these micro facilities like sign up with Tanner, sign up with us, they're not just getting like our processing services and his sales services, but they're getting my marketing services and our marketing services. And like we've made stickers for them. I did a full tour around Cape Breton trying to sell their weed to their province, like it's like a full-on team effort, and we just want to build a bigger community of that. And I didn't think that was possible in cannabis with the industry coming from out west, and actually it is out here for sure. More people I don't know if it's more desperation because there's less money out here, and so people are more forced to work together and then realize that, hey, this can actually work, or it's just a different environment out here. But it's working because I don't just see it with us, I see it all over.
That's cool. It's cool when people can work together. That's always cool. you don't have to work against each other. It's a win-win situation, it sounds like. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
Well, there's so many costs that you have to, you're marketing things, and there's testing, and there's transportation and everything else. And it really quickly becomes a business. And, everybody just wants to see that ROI, that return on investment, wherever they're at in the link up on it.
Well, I think you can find it, right, by doing the teamwork thing still. It might not be the same investment as crushing all the smaller companies and buying them out or whatever, but
The Bill
can
Gates
still
way.
make that. Yeah, you can still make it work, and that works really, really well.
So,
I'm
Miss
interested.
Newty, so for the people that don't really may not recognize you or may not know you yet, I mean, we all do, and of course, we're stoked to have you on here. But can you tell us a little bit about how you got it started growing and your background, and a little bit more about that? So everybody would be stoked to hear about it, I think.
So I guess I just alluded to it a little bit earlier. I got started at home in 2016, growing my own cannabis because I had already been growing other plants and outdoor vegetables and fruits and trees and like just my whole life growing. Got sick. I'm giving you guys a short version. Got
Okay.
sick. Couldn't afford to buy weed because it's so fucking expensive. Super illegal still. Very, very like difficult decision for me because I've been sober from drugs and alcohol for 10 years. And so when I got sick 5 years into my, or, 4 years, I guess, into my sobriety, it was, I had created a whole new support system that was basically ready to break up with me if I started smoking weed. And so that's what happened. I got so desperate that I started smoking weed and lost that community, and then basically had to rebuild a new community, which I did. A weedy community, which is now like my people in my community. So it's like, you go through things for a reason, or the universe clears the path for a reason, like make room for all this new stuff. But that's pretty much what happened. And I was just growing weed in my craft room. I was domesticated. I was a social worker in the city of Edmonton, pretty unhappy, burnt out, doing that for like 10 years. And, weed was still illegal and taboo. So I wasn't talking about it with anyone besides this new kind of community that I had built. And a couple friends at work. And then I just got the idea to like, I don't even know. I just like decided to quit my job and jump into the cannabis industry because it was becoming legal in 2018. So in 2018 in June, I quit my job as a social worker and went back to school to this like horticulture school real quick to do a 6-month cannabis course to get me in the door because all I had was like a social work background, which I didn't think at the time was very transferable, but it totally is. And I really didn't need to go to school because I learned a lot at that school in the way that they gave me tons of resources that I got to access and extra reading and stuff. But in the way that I thought I needed it to get my foot in the door, I didn't. I just had to get in, which I did, and work really hard and like show them what I could do. Because the first place I went to, like, although people were really nice and like, you got to go to work, I had a different kind of hustle, I guess, and not in a aggressive way, but in a soft and gentle way. I somehow managed to hustle my way in and through 3 different licensed facilities, working my way through. And I strongly really think that's from like all the skills I learned as a social worker, because the cannabis industry is very similar in the way that it's like high crisis, high stress. There's mental illness everywhere in the factories where you work. It's just that I managed caseloads of thousands when I was a social worker, and now that's why I can manage 3,000 different plants in a system, because I have kind of skill set. So it's like I learned that along the way, that I had all these skills already, I guess. It's just the cultivating part, right? And so now here we are in 2022, and I was headhunted to come out here as the director of cultivation, and it's only been not even 4 years. So I think I gave myself 7 years to get from grunt to head grower. They call it master grower out here in Canada. That's the Health Canada title. I gave myself that amount of time to get there, and I achieved my goals in less than 3 years. So
Awesome. Congrats. That is so cool.
a lot of hard work. I never took a weekend off. I didn't take a holiday off. I worked 12 to 14 hours a day. Sometimes I did cultivation, I did irrigation, I did maintenance, I was fucking turning boilers off and on the weekends. I was learning anything and everything that everyone didn't want to do mostly. And so because of that, I got to learn the entire facility most places and just kind of wiggle my way around and up without sucking any dicks.
just swimming with the fishies. And I want to know how you ended up there. Did you is that something you chose, or is that something that the facility was already wanted to run with? Or
They were already doing it. That was my only hesitation, and also real big excitement to come over was the fact that I was just starting to learn organics. And I've done organics really blindly outside, I guess, like growing vegetables and things like that, but I was reaching out to like Spartan and Brandon and like my mentors from growing with the fellow growers, and like they were teaching me about organics 2 years ago, so like that's when I started basically. So I was a little bit nervous to come over and do like real living soil. I had kind of dabbled in organics at the last place I was in, but it was still very hydro themed, it was still very input, like organic inputs, but in a hydroponic fashion. And so this was like working with real living soil, where it's like your inputs have to be pretty, like, and Brandon is still working with me like through soil analysis and trying to help me because I'm still constantly learning.
Shout out to Brandon Rust.
So aquaponics is probably the least of what I know right now, and that's something that I'll get into and hustle probably at the end of this year. Right now I'm working on so much with the living soil. I'm newly taking the Ganji course as well.
Yeah, that
Working really,
looks awesome.
and so I'm just like I'm maxed out on my learning capabilities right now.
I bet your brain's got to be fried.
It's like I got a lot.
One other person you could reach out to on aquaponics specifically would be Steve Reisner, Aquaponics Steve. He's really knowledgeable on that kind of stuff, specifically for cannabis too.
Yeah, I reached out to him at the beginning because he is a friend of Tanner's, actually, who's my boss, the CEO of Sterling.
Oh, cool.
Tanner was actually I helped Tanner with our aquaponics presentation that he did for that. I think it was back in
the virtual aquaponics conference that you put on. Yeah, cool.
I have a bit of a connection. He probably doesn't know who I am, but like I have that bit of a connection. So I have thought about, I do want to take that course, and I do want to like reach out to him. I just, like I said, like I'm maxed out with my learning capabilities right now. But yeah, he's on my list for end of 2022, 23 aquaponics newts. That's the goal for that. That's what I'm going to hustle on next.
I love that you'll just take as much stuff as you can pile on your plate and learn everything you can learn. Like you said, especially learn the stuff that other people don't want to learn. And that is a quick way to get through.
Because she's self-driven, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, you set those hard goals for yourself, and then when you crush it, you don't sit on your laurels. You're like, okay, cool, I got more time to fucking focus on this, that, and the other.
Yeah, like I'm addicted to goals, like crushing goals. I don't know how else to put it, but it's like self-development has been my thing for the last 10 years, basically since I got sober. It's just like I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit using food as a thing. I quit, like, so it's just like I just constantly am working on myself, and there's just always more things I can work on. You just never run out of things. And so if you're not busy, you're stagnant.
Exactly. No, what's that saying? Nobody
Atrophy.
ever was successful by not working hard. So congrats to you for working your ass off and achieving your goals way ahead of time and showing the
Thank you.
industry that it can be done. So
Thank
kudos.
my other
Without
thing,
sucking dick.
I want to do everything with like a very hard, kind hand. Like I'm very kind fisted, you know, like I just want to like replace all the Brads in the industry with like all nice guys, you know, like you could, I just want to prove to this industry that you can still be a badass bitch and get things done and not be a cunt, you know?
It's
Yeah.
called an iron fist in a velvet glove.
There you go.
That
Yeah.
sounds nice, Skilbo.
That's
And
in
there-
this industry is to learn everything and anything I can. Like just like I say in every place, like as soon as I stop learning or as soon as it's not win-win, I am there for a different reason and I'm out. And so
Sure.
it's just I want to just keep bopping around and learning stuff and teaching, mentoring, just as much as I can anyways.
Well, the incredible networking that you've got to be able to do now also has to scratch that itch of the old social worker and networking and, you know, making connections and hookups.
It's like combining two worlds right now. Like for example, actually at Stewart Farms, we when I got there, they were already doing this. We work with the vocational center in St. Stephen, so we have 17, I think it's 17 underemployed individuals that come. Some of them come to our facility and they put stickers on stuff and like put boxes together, or they have a place where they do like, you know, job mentoring and job coaching and stuff. And they have people that maybe don't have the capabilities to come to our facility, but we bring our boxes to them and they'll put them together. So it's like combining that social work piece and the industry, which I never, ever, ever would have thought that could have been possible. Like never, ever in my life would have thought that those two worlds could be combined like they are. So coming into the facility and seeing some of these guys and like, I see them on the streets now and they're like, hey, this is my friend Genevieve. And, you know, just like high fives and like, it does a whole new thing to the vibe in the facility, to the people that are already working there and to the plants. Cause I have
We've
them
all
plants, like I've had them like help us with room setups and stuff like that.
We've always seen your contagious enthusiasm for growing and everything associated with growing. So it's not surprising to see that you've built a community of people and especially other women growers, because there's not a lot of head women growers out there in the cannabis industry. There's not. You're really paving the way in a way for yourself, and it's been really amazing to see, and also not surprising to see at the same time from all of us that have known you for so long.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's like a huge compliment. I want to be one of those women now. Before I was like crying about it because I couldn't find a woman to look up to in this industry, or none of them would even look twice at me, you know, like, and not that I'm like reaching out for anyone because I'm an independent woman and I don't need anyone. But like the women that I have reached out to, I like a cold shoulder, right? Like I'm not included, and that's cool and that's fine, because now I want to be that person that I'm like so inclusive that I want
Right.
a woman, not just women, but like if you're a kind-hearted man that's getting pushed down in this industry, like fucking reach out to me and let me help you. And I can help give you some tips or, you know, just different things, or like that's just my jam, you know, is that I already am a counselor in my background. And so I can help my peers. And that's another piece of why I'm here. So the women that I notice that are, you know, have that hustle or have that magic, I will pull them into cultivation. And I've done that with somebody recently at work, that she was kind of in sanitation and doing manufacturing, but showed like a really keen interest in cultivation. And so, yeah, I pulled her in and she's like one of the best waterers I have now. And now she's in the weekend schedule. You get good at watering, you get on my weekend schedule. So it's just been really cool being able to mentor people. And I didn't think I would be able to have that kind of like, you know, be able to do like fill my heart like I can at work still.
Yeah,
That's a cool
great.
article right there.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, congrats on all the accolades on Leafly and doing all your speaking and everything, your speaking engagements and stuff. I mean, it's people like you that we want representing us as females in the industry, and not to separate us from anybody else just because we're female and growers. Obviously, Tara's a great grower out at Freedom Green too. And, there's just not a lot of us. It would just be great to have more people. So it's awesome to hear that you're bringing people in that you see a capability in. And I just love that. So thanks for speaking up and, being one that doesn't suck dicks to get where you are and have to pose in a fucking bikini with an HLG light, so, because that seems to be all we ever fucking see. So
Exactly.
congrats and hats off to you. Much love.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're not viewing everyone else as competition. You're helping bring everyone up rather than what you kind of experienced as you were trying to do the same journey. So that's a big deal.
Dude, there's just so much room at the table. And, you talked about coming over from a different community that you got shunned because you used cannabis. And I think to myself, man, that's a fucking shame. But it reminds me, because I live in a bubble now. And so, when I think of like other programs, I'm not even going to go into it, but cannabis has always been welcoming. And I think that's one of the things that led Sequence and I to fucking start this show. That's what led you and I, Miss Nudie, to get things going over on Cheap Home Grow in the very beginning. And it's just about tapping into things. So, it's kind of like being a switchboard operator, the old timey kind, where there's a lady sitting there with the old timey earphones on and she's got all the wires and she's just plugging things in. That's a lot of things. Is like resource management has become like a really bad term when you start thinking about like your people that are part of the team as resources, but they really are. And you have to cultivate those just like you're trying to cultivate, award-winning gardens. And, I think it's contagious with you. So good shit.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree more. I've been, like I said, this is, I guess, my 5th spot. And so the biggest thing that I've noticed coming from place to place to place is the head grower, the master grower. There's a huge disconnect between him, and the rest of everyone else that's cultivating the plants. And so like a super big lack of communication, a lack of just like being a part of the team, like just like almost a lack of care, right? And people sense that, the plants sense that. If you got fish, I'm sure they'd sense it. So the things that I like to do when I am in the facility, which is pretty much every day, is go in there and touch base with all the people first, and then make sure everyone has the right vibe for the day, and then go and check in with all the plants and make sure the plants have all the right vibe for the day. And so that like simple 20 minutes or whatever in the morning that maybe someone doesn't want to do can like really go a long way in building relationships with people that will create just a better atmosphere. And like those people will want to work harder for you. They'll want to do good. They'll want to like, oh that's my Ross, like right there. Like you treat people like gold.
Ooh, that was aggressive, wasn't it?
They will work hard for you.
You know what? We were just talking, Tara and I and Sequence and Nut Tree were just talking about that this morning at brunch. Literally just talking about how important it is to, when you are an owner of a facility or head cultivator, is, it really is about loyalty. And to establish loyalty, you have to treat your people well. And the plants will know when things aren't right and people aren't happy. I totally agree. And, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about today, is that's so important to have that relationship with the people that work there too. And, just you and your plants, even at home, us home growers, I think the same thing. You can't just go in there and throw water on them and say, bye, toots, so.
Anybody else feel like this video that's playing right now or was just playing was like a hospital for weed plants? That looked amazing.
Stat.
They're all
Carting them around on the weed journey.
They keep it nice and clean in there for sure. It looks good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like those things are loved. Like half those people don't work in cultivation. They're just like, can we come in and look at your plants?
Yeah.
Want to come in because they know they can come in and they can learn stuff and they can smell things, and like you wouldn't be able to do that at any of the other facilities that I've been at. And not to say that's bad or wrong, but that's just not how I do things. I'm just like, I have an open door policy. unless I don't like your vibe, please come in and see the plants, and I'll show you around.
We've
What's
got
that-
some facilities here in Michigan where the owners of the place brag about not consuming cannabis. It's nice to see people that are really passionate about what's actually going on there, enjoying the plants and all of that stuff. Smelling
It's like
them
a chef that doesn't eat those sequins.
right.
Strange.
What size pots were those that you're running in the facility right now? They look pretty big because you're doing soil, right?
Flower pots are 4 gallons.
Okay.
The big ones are 10 gallons.
Okay, cool. Well, they look great. Everything. It looked like those were starting to fade out and starting to look beautiful. Some of those ones where you were showing a little bit before. And what strains are you? What's your favorite strain that you're growing right now?
Like we're right at the end. Scaled it down from 140 phenos to 60, which has been blood, sweat, and tears. And that's what this video is. It's that whole hunt. We did 2 different rooms to hold all those cultivars.
Wow.
My favorite strain is Daily Grape. Fucking out of this world. Its background is Sunday Driver and shit. My favorite strain. I don't know what the other part is offhand. Something grapey.
Sounds great.
Maybe, I don't know. It's OG stuff. We get all our genetics. 70% of our genetics are from Humboldt County. They're from Kevin Jodry. He is one of the board members for Stewart Farms. He's an affiliate and a good friend of Tanner's. And so that was a big reason why I came down to Stewart Farms. Was Tanner was like, do you want to come be the director of cultivation? And then was like, Kevin Jodry will be your mentor. And so I was like, yep, coming.
Yeah. How do you turn that down?
I've been working with him. I do mentoring sessions with him every once we sit down and have a good Zoom and go through like not just like organics and plant shit, but like more so with him, it's about like, you're a badass bitch and you can do this. The haters can fuck up. Like, like he's just really good at mentoring me mentally when I get really like in my head about things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we have some really good, like, it's about communicating and like, he helps me be a good leader basically and a good teacher.
And he's part of that whole Ganjier program that you're doing, isn't he?
He's a co-founder. So,
okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool course. I'm just starting it out right now. Just done the first 2 units of it. And then the best part is the final exam is in actually Humboldt. So I get to go out to California for a week.
Hell yeah, that'll be awesome.
For October when I'm done all the online stuff. And then I'll be a certified ganjier.
That's really cool.
It is. It'll be very nice because when people, what that means? That means that people will send me their weed and sometimes they'll pay me to do this with money and weed. And then I have to just give them my certified ganjier
tasting notes, essentially, isn't it? Kind of. You're like a sommelier for weed. I think that's awesome.
It's basically what it is. It's just even in more depth actually than I thought when I started going through the units. Like they really lead you through like I just finished a course from Frenchy Cannoli, like teaching you how to the whole history of hash and like from like the very get-go. Like this, it's just so thorough about the history of cannabis, of all the types of cannabis. And then I'll be getting into cultivation of cannabis, botany of cannabis with Mel Frank, like just like cool stuff. And then eventually the ending units where it's like production related stuff, which is like American, very American because it is American, but I want to learn that stuff because that is where Canada is getting its like ideas from. So
right.
What do you think is the future of cannabis in Canada? What's going on up there? What do you think? I mean, is it getting better or worse?
It's crazy and chaotic only because it's province to province. It's so different. So like you have to get into cannabis. The licensing, you have to get federally licensed. So you'll get a license to grow cannabis. And then to sell cannabis is completely different. So you have to basically get into each province, province by province. So you have to find a way to sell your product to the keepers of the province, which is the government basically. And each province has different set of rules for what they need for you to get in. And not all provinces allow cannabis. So trying to manage and learn the legality and the Health Canada regulations, and it's a whole. I've already taken a class on it and I still barely understand it because it changes too. So it's been
I
quite
bet
big.
that's a lot of people's full-time job is to sort all that out and try to get you guys into the other markets.
Yeah, like
It
it.
sounds a lot like what we're dealing with here as far as different counties and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or we have like one lady doing like all that stuff, like it's
Like
crazy.
compliance officer.
The police officer,
Yeah.
basically. But as far as like Canadian cannabis, I feel like we'll just be following behind the states like California, Michigan, all the places that are already doing it well, I guess. That's how Canada's been doing it. So I don't really see any sort of differences shaking out. I plan on staying in Canada. As soon as the states get federally legal, watch out. I'm coming down there.
Oh, we'd love to have you. You
Come
can
on down.
sommelier our stuff.
Yeah, come on down. Hey, I got a question just in my head. Did you notice a difference in the market between West Coast and East Coast of Canada? Like, did the market have a change in taste for were there some strains that were popular on the West Coast that didn't really transfer on the East, or is it pretty much they just were looking for weed? And it doesn't really matter. You get to pick.
The same across Canada because most LPs right at the beginning of the industry didn't have very many genetics. Like literally there was 5. And so now there's way more than that. But the only way you can bring into new genetics, so like places like Sundial that have been around since 2018 or whatever, can't legally bring in new genetics unless they work with a micro facility that's new and hasn't got their license yet. They can bring in new genetics and somehow get them to Sundial, or Sundial can buy genetics from places like us, which they do. And that's how they get, like, we have one of the biggest genetic libraries in Canada. And so through basically Kevin, he's brought in these California genetics into Canada, 2 of which are cuts. Like, so they are legit California cuts that we were able to bring into Canada and now are able to sell to other licensed producers. So we have a few that we sell to other licensed producers, but then other LPs get their hands on these, and then everybody has the same thing. So from east to west, it's just whoever's selling those genetics. So the most popular genetic lab in Canada right now is Mother Lab. And so they're doing plant tissue culture. They have a fantastic service out there. It's in Saskatchewan, actually. But they are the ones that are, I would say, primarily pumping genetics into Canada right now. Is that's where most, at least the 2 out of 4 places that I was at were buying their genetics from Mother Labs. And so they only have what they have, right? And I know of some of the stuff that they have, the places that I used to work. And so I have that knowledge now coming into my place and going, wow, like we have way better genetics. Like, sorry, Mother Labs, but we do. It's just a matter of popping those genetics.
See, that's our greatest fear, is that the bringing together of all of these things, and there's so many strains out there, but you're saying you have to deal with like one place, and so there becomes like a real bottleneck. And as far as from like a patient standpoint, it can become a lot harder when you have a lot less options and bullets in the chamber, so to say.
Just for recreational. If you're a medical patient in Canada, Canada's forgotten about you, basically. Or it's like, it's not, the CBD, it's like almost gotten worse. Like you can't find it anywhere anymore because it doesn't sell like 33% THC does. So we're seeing a lot of that too. Medical is given that's where the shit weed goes. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but that's things that I've heard.
now that you've brought up CBD, would you like to talk about your bath bombs? I was oogling that stuff on your page here, and those got CBD and THC as well in there. So you guys are obviously still trying to stay in the market of delivering medicine to people as far as CBD goes.
Bath products, the best topicals on the Canadian market, and that is where we have our name. Is my landlord, my bestie. She is the designer, the creator, the recipe maker, product developer of all of these products, and she has like a full background in herbal medicine, and she was already making stuff without the weed before she came to Stewart Farms, and so adding the weed was just the kicker. Like, these things are already medicinal because of the terpene profiles and the science that goes into them without the weed. So adding the weed just makes it extra. But they are also the most potent topicals on the market in Canada for the price and for the size. So bath bombs, some of them have 100 milligrams and 100 of THC and 100 of CBD, or that would be the highest. And then we have different selection of bath salts. So we just came out with a seaweed OG, which is a beautiful bath salt. It's like eucalyptus. We use real seaweed from the Bay of Fundy, which is the Atlantic Ocean right out my back door.
Cool.
Use a lot of local products. Everything is sustainable at Stewart Farms. All our packaging is biodegradable, including the plastic that goes around the bath bomb. Including our dube tubes. Those are all tubes that biodegrade in 80 days. They're compostable. Yeah, they're doing big things. So right now, as I build the weed part or the flower part of Stewart Farms, the topicals and the bath bombs are funding all of our projects. So
Well, that is right up me and Spartan's alley. I think I can speak for you, Spartan, because I've seen your posts from the bathtub before. That's one of my favorite things on earth is a bath bomb.
How are
So
some older?
I haven't had a bath.
people
I haven't had a
keep
bath
listening
bomb.
to it?
I can't say I am
What?
I am still a bath bomb virgin. I just do the
Oh,
traditional bath with fucking
dude,
soap.
you're missing
Whoa,
out.
you don't even use salts, bro?
I use Epsom salt.
What are you even doing, right?
He hasn't felt the sweet bubbles between
Yeah,
his
no
cheeks.
bubbles, no little
I use
rubber ducky.
Epsom
What is
salts
happening here?
because
No
that's
bubbles between the
organic.
cheeks.
Your duck needs
Rubber
a
ducky.
ride, Spartan. So you need to get one of Miss Nudie's.
I need to get a bigger
bath
tub
bombs.
is what I need. I need to get a tub that I can stretch out in is what I fucking need.
Well, same.
One of
I,
those 6 foot long tubs, man.
I'm
That's
so
what it is.
jealous
Bigger
of
than
your
that.
tub, Genevieve. Holy crap. That thing is the shit.
The
17
most
hours.
of the panel knows the pain on that.
Hey, I'm just gonna show up on his doorstep with some bath products.
Don't forget the beard oil.
You would like that.
I'll
You
take
really would.
both. I'll take both of those. Both of those are excellent.
CBD beard oil, man.
Dinner's on me. Deal.
You cad you.
You know, I'm looking around and I'm feeling left out of this tall conversation. I think I'm the only
I said most of the
Good point.
panel, Red.
No, most.
I didn't single
most of
you
the
out.
panel.
I'm glad that you look up to me somehow, Red.
Look up to you
Exactly.
all, as a matter
One
of
way or
fact.
the other. Sir Dirty says, will a bath bomb clog a jacuzzi? I don't know how you would
No,
ever
we
get it
tried
out of there once you put it in there. You drain that beast.
Dissolves.
Here's
Yeah, it
here's
just
a tub
dissolves.
that's very close. Yeah. They look very clean.
That thing is the shit.
That is an amazing fucking tub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that I on the back gargoyle. So sexy.
Was that a coffee bean in that one?
What?
Oh,
These-
man.
Those are the new bath bombs that are coming out in the spring. Kai's Coffee, to align we chose from the Pheno hunt. Kai's Coffee was one of our top phenos. And so she's doing a bath bomb. Oh, it's glorious. I never thought I'd like to soak in a bath full of smelling like dark roast, but it's pretty wicked.
That is right up my alley. If I could do that, holy shit.
That's that they
Man,
and was like the bath bomb goes in because I do all the product research. So the bath bomb goes in, and then in like 10 seconds, you get the little bloop, bloop, and it's the coffee beans. And I got to get that on video because it just drives me wild. Like, it's a riot.
I'm glad you told me they were coffee beans, and I would have never
You
guessed.
started.
Well, I'm seeing that little thing. I'm thinking,
Ooh, I relaxed too
or
much.
rats.
Let my hair down a little
I'm not
too
sure
much.
what these little brown pellets are. So thank you for educating me.
Ladies,
Yeah.
don't bet on a
bath
fart.
salts.
Only you guys do.
Yeah.
And you
really.
always lose.
Red,
Always
you just
lose.
ruined it for her. Now. That's gonna be in her image in her
I
head
want a
every time
GMO
from now
bath
on.
bomb. Can I
Save
have
it for
that,
the bubble
please?
bath.
Jeez Louise.
So, little known fact, I too like baths and hot tubs, although I've never taken a hot tub with a bath bomb or anything, but I'm a big fan of bath salts. And there's a specific type of bath salt or brand, I should
Does it come
say.
from overseas?
It comes from Hawaii, so sort of. But it's just they're very expensive, so I don't get to order them very often, but when I do, the scents are amazing, and whatever like benefits they claim that that's going to help you relax or whatever, those are cool too. But my favorite part, and maybe this is childish of me, but if you couldn't tell from the color on my wall behind me, I like color. And one of the things about these bath salts is they use color in them. Definitely not food grade coloring, because that will dye your skin, but like the perfume grade or whatever. I think it's called, ladies help me, it's the
Is this stuff to color the water?
yeah. It's cosmetic grade. That's the word. Cosmetic grade coloring and pigments. And it didn't look from the videos like you use those, but can I request that you start using those? Because it makes it such a great experience on top of the smells and the THC.
The colored water.
Yeah, man. It's like, so look at,
The
I'm swimming in
aesthetics
like
of
this
it.
beautiful green or, purple water, like pink or something,
I'm in. I'm in.
Damn you, I'm in.
Is
Sounds like a
bathtub?
great night. Well, I mean, we need a plug for the bathtub to get it to work, of course.
I'm not paying extra for that. If it's
Red,
just
you
I'll
just gotta
pay
get
extra
a-
for it.
Red, you,
Yeah,
the
dude.
ghetto plug, Red, is to just
I-
grab a garbage bag and start stuffing it in
I
dishwasher in
already
a
got to pay
restaurant
extra
style.
for the mushrooms. I might as well pop a couple caps and then smoke a doobie, and that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, dude, just do that. You can get all the colors you want.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Noted.
Okay, but don't use food coloring, right?
Yes, don't do that.
No.
Apparently, the dudes really would like colored water. So
Now, if I
Next show, Red's gonna
want
be
to
green.
turn myself green, then I could use food coloring.
Yes.
How did I know he was going
Okay.
to say that? See?
Okay. I like it.
noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
Becca, write that down.
And just
So,
do, like,
Red, can I just make a recommendation for you? From experience, just use Kool-Aid. It smells great and it colors your bath water.
And it
Ooh,
also
and-
brings all the ants to the yard.
yeah, dude.
Oh,
And I
okay.
can
Don't
just
add
like
the
sitting
sugar.
there with a
Don't
ladle
add the
and just
sugar.
like
Add the
Basically,
sugar.
drink the
and
punch.
Charcoalberry Finn.
And
If
you
you
can
add
drink
sugar, you'll get a yeast infection.
Okay. I don't have to worry about drinking the punch. I can just bathe in the punch and then get on the bus.
You.
Welcome to the late set.
Yes, sir. We are 4 minutes from hash time. This would be the time for everybody to go find all their accoutrements, gather those up, and get ready.
I need Chad to help me out. Black
Yeah.
cherry garlic batter, OPP live resin, or Han Solo burger live resin. Which one first?
You down with OPP?
Black cherry.
Yeah,
I
you
would
know
try
me.
If I was me, I would try the middle one because that's the only one I haven't tried.
OPP,
Oh.
which stands for what in this instance, not in the other?
Old people problems.
He mentioned it on the show.
Other
the
people's
interview-
plants?
Interview we did. I don't remember.
in Canada. It's
Like that Big House OG Sunday Driver. That's my favorite.
Damn,
Some-
show off, flexing.
Tropic truffle. Oh, that lemon slushy I think is my favorite.
That sounds
Sunday
good.
Driver's super
But
good.
then that Sunday Driver, then you mix the two together, and that's fucking heaven.
That was good.
That lemon slushy sounds amazing. That'd be right
Martin
up
and
your alley.
got me all fucked up.
You know, I just realized, like, we're talking about dabs and it's coming up on hash time and it's almost 10 o'clock. So where the hell is Baked Pound this evening?
I was wondering that too, Skilbo.
What the fuck, man?
He's missing
Oh,
out
you
on
know-
Miss Nudie.
He's taking a
Yeah,
snap.
man.
That's the best one though. Clementine's still the best.
Now that Spartan retired, Baked has to work a little harder. So he's
Oh.
going.
No, you know what happened?
Gotta go in at 6 a.m. now.
He's-
That isn't
he's
the
on
case.
third
That
shift.
is, he did tell me that. He
That's
did
so
tell me.
funny.
He says, I come home exhausted now.
Have they not replaced you?
You
No,
can't replace
well, they have
Spartan.
a
Come
part-
on.
They,
Yeah,
they
how do
gave
you- how
everybody
do
else.
you?
They gave everybody else a raise, and then they
They said,
have
Get it
somebody
done.
that comes in part time. I guess like 2 days a
Oh.
week or 3 days a week.
ooh,
Damn.
Whatever. But
He's a lot younger than us too. Can you imagine? I told him, I was like, "Can you imagine how we feel after a day's work?"
beat
He
up,
might be
man.
one of the only tall guys left there. That might be the problem.
He's the one's got to
He
reach
is.
everything now.
He might be the only guy that can do a lot of the work. Yeah.
Dude, stay out of that GMO room then. You know what I mean? That's some tall ladies.
Well, what it was I came over one of the nights and helped him do a couple walls in his garage. So he's probably fucking got to take a couple naps to rest up from that. That's physical. On
That's
top
what
of
I'm
his regular work.
He's napping. Yep.
Poor guy.
It's almost like
Yeah,
Poor
and
guy.
that's cutting into his nap schedule for sure.
this is just an all-you-can-eat character buffet assassination of fake cone.
What happens when he doesn't show up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, poor. He's
Well-
not even here in chat. I don't think.
Oh shit!
I give him a pass, Gilbo, because he befriended a cat.
Oh,
He
well, that
said-
makes them all
Yeah.
aces, huh?
Oh, that guy! Wow, news travels fast as fuck.
When it
Well,
comes
I
to
gotta
cats and painted ladies,
What year do you think it is, Boomer?
I don't know if because him and Tara were talking about sexting the cat. I don't know if they've ever sexed the cat. So I don't know if it's a he or a she yet because they were arguing over that one a little bit.
Yeah, we
so.
didn't get that. I didn't get that close to the kitty.
So what? That's still to be determined. But he has, I guess, long conversations with this cat.
Good. I love it. Ms. Nudie and I both know how important cats can be in one's life. So I'm glad he found a friend.
We
feel
were
like-
Kroger, and he wanted to know if
No,
should
he
get his-
doesn't let it in the house. He
Hashtag.
gives him. He tells
Say
it. He
that.
has to reason with the cat why. He tells it. No, you got to stay out here. You got to learn how to hunt. He tells it.
Jake finally got some pussy. I'm so happy for him.
It was so funny.
He was
Poor
bitching
guy.
because the cat kept setting off his fucking ring alarm on all the way there on the car ride. 'Cause the
I'm
cat
so
would
glad
be sitting on the
somebody else
porch.
said it before my non-filter said it.
I
My lack of
non-filter
a
for you, Red.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Mhm.
I was itching.
Well, I'm really stoked about it. So I think it'll be good for him.
Shout out and thanks to Catachronic for the great tunes for Hashtag. Check them out on Apple Music.
Or check him out on Spotify if you don't like Apple Music.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper on which music service you have to use. That's how you get Jay-Z knocking on your door.
I prefer YouTube music, but
What are you
that's
smoking, Ms. Nudie?
Couldn't hear you. You're muted or something.
She's
Oh, you just went close
freaking
enough
out.
to me.
Look, can you guys hear me now?
I
Yep.
can now.
Yes, Verizon.
It's probably a little bit of Royal Kush and original cookies, which is Girl Scout cookies, and maybe some mimosa. Tossed salad.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are good.
Leafy.
We just harvested
green
mimosa at
goodness.
work not too long ago. That was a beautiful plant.
I love
Can't wait to smoke it.
the orangey.
Orangey. I might not like it then. I'm over the orange.
Well, in case anybody has noticed, Sequence and I have ended our dry spell.
Oh
and
yeah,
our,
tell me about that first
Yay.
smoke. How was that? Did it get you
Congrats.
Look at
super
Sequence
high?
right now.
dude,
First
I was
tab.
First
fucking
tab.
high school.
Sequence is still at it. He's-
Annihilated last night. Annihilate. I took a half a bong rip, like a normal, not even as big as a pull as I normally do. And I was doing what Sequence is doing right now. I was dying. I hacked up lung. I had to blow it out, man. I was like a fucking virgin.
You
And
guys did great
so-
this morning. We smoked a whole bowl and a joint. So I think you guys did really good.
I did
And
better
we
this
had mimosa.
morning. I
Oh.
did better this morning for sure, but last night I was high. We were sitting out on my deck and I don't know. I felt like I was so dumb. I felt like I was the silliest. Like nothing I was saying made sense. And I was like, I don't even remember what it's like to not feel this high. So it was great. So the tea break was fantastic, and
She was a very good time.
Would you do it again?
She was a
Of your own
Absolutely.
volition?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, Bilbo, I think my smoking is going to look a lot different from now on because I just was smoking too much, and it was obvious in my eating patterns and everything else. So I think I'm lucky enough to have the luxury of being able to go days without it and not need it medically like, a lot of people do every day. So I think I'm just going to kind of ease back into it and use it as a kind of my weekend treat or like a social thing. And
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is if it's about the stone and enjoying the stone, taking a tolerance break would be probably a really good way. I see the bunny rabbit. What's going on with that for Growly?
I just want
gone
to cut in here real quick and just ask Sequence how he's feeling right now. He looks a little hot.
He's a little
Just sweating a little bit, I
Sweat?
took a little dab at the beginning of the show, but nothing like that. And then, that was a big one. Last night, I did not get like high school high off of smoking a bowl.
Did you get yourself a
really had.
celebratory jar? Like a new flavor or something as like,
No.
hey, welcome back.
I wanted to try Yeti's Glaciers as my first dab back, but I didn't get a hold of them. And even though we live in the same town, so it would have been easy for me to do so.
You should have said something. I
Yeah.
had them with me.
Oh,
Tara the Great
had
Darn
some.
it.
Gallivanter.
I forgot they work together. But anyway, that was going to be my goal. But no, I got my normal supply over here. I
Wow.
did pass the test, chat. I know a lot of people are asking. I think I got like a B+. So I got the job. And we're gonna.
Hey, a 2.0 passes.
No,
Yes,
it
Yes,
was
great.
it does.
big old dab to me. I thought it was your regular fucking dab. It didn't look any different.
That one was the big one. I overdid it probably.
A little overzealous on cam.
Overdid it.
Man, my throat is still hurting from last night's cough and fit.
Whoa. We're supposed to leave that, we don't have to tell everybody about what you guys do last night.
PG.
Yes, because this show has always been PG. Sure.
Right.
I don't do that, Spartan.
What the
Uh-huh.
fuck?
She was great support for the whole 30 days, even though she had a lot of days that I'm sure she wanted to.
Did she want to run your head through a television screen?
Oh yeah, that too. I'm sure I'm more irritable and irritating when I don't smoke. Like most people.
Well, because you were sick though. Like you were fucking literally sick for how many days were you sick for?
Well, there was some of that. I was sick for like the first 14 days or so, but the last 14 days, to be honest with you, if I couldn't smoke for another month, it would have been fine. But medically wise, like I have more knee pain than normal, and that was the reason why I started smoking to begin with. So
You did get to sample some decent beers as a
yeah. Oh yeah. I have drank more beers than I used to. Definitely, switching one thing for another, which isn't great, but.
And some champs.
It's great if you switch back.
We had mimosas with Tara and stuff.
Champagne.
It's great.
Breakfast of Champions.
Yeah, it was great to see Tara and Troy this morning. They got to have some really good fucking pancakes over at People's Kitchen, where the
That
local.
chicken and waffles was phenomenal. It was a sweet
Oh.
potato waffle.
Well, that sounds good as fuck.
It was
Dude.
so good.
Wow.
Real good, dude. We had chicken and waffles this morning.
I apologize, chat. Usually we
So
try to,
good.
wait a little bit longer before like the last half hour of the show before we start tantalizing you about all these great delectable foods that you could be eating right now. But
I was just talking to Becca about a grain substitution for pancakes, and we were talking about using potatoes. And I'm like,
Dude, potato pancakes are the shit.
Let's make potato pancakes. And I
Of
was
course.
talking about potato waffles,
Sweet
all
potatoes,
kinds of
even
waffles.
better idea.
Hungry Jack dried potatoes. That's
Well,
weird.
I
You
mean,
could.
as a
That's a stoner.
substitute, as a
Good call,
substitute
Micah,
for
good
like,
call.
we got a box laying around.
You just keep
and
adding more until
water,
it gets stiff
you know?
enough, and then you just go with it. When you
Not
put that
safe.
thing down for a potato pancake, put it down and leave it down. Don't even think about flipping it. Even when you start thinking you should flip it, leave it the fuck alone because it's going to be way too soon. Wait 5 more minutes from the time you think you should flip that potato pancake.
I
Thank
had
you later.
Back tomorrow.
I haven't had one of these in too long.
There was another ingredient involved with this whole mash, and it was
Chives?
bananas.
Oh, Red. Now
Just
that's just
weird.
too much like Shaggy and Scooby right there, bro.
Now you make
Chocolate
it
anchovies and
weird.
shit.
Banana
banana
potato.
That's too much.
Banana potato, or was it just bananas?
Bananas
I was
right
thinking maybe just bananas.
Banana pancakes
I was like, what could we
without
use
the pancakes.
to-
That
Yeah,
is
we're
a,
just like
that is the
use
thing. I've never had one though. I've heard of it though.
It's
Banana
really
pancakes.
easy.
I have
banana
heard of that.
pancakes. Yeah, banana. What did we do? We blended bananas and
Peanut butter.
peanut butter. She was trying to make
Plantains.
bananas.
Elvis
Some
Presley.
Oh, dude,
plantains.
she made like the most delicious
Pudding.
pudding.
It was
Trying to
Perfect
make a
blend of you guys.
smoothie. It was great. Nothing was frozen. It was just pudding. It was great.
It was fucking great.
This is great.
Miss Nudie's on to another joint. I like it. Thank you for joining us tonight, Miss Nudie.
It's called walking the
like
walk.
I said, we're going to ask you less questions, and I think we're going to have the panel this week. A few of the members of the panel went to Winewood Organics after we interviewed them, and I would love to hear about the trip if you guys would like to share some deets.
Absolutely.
Well, I was late. I know that.
What are you holding up for, girly?
I was fucking late.
These are their vegan
Strawberry THC gummies.
Yeah, gummies, man. And so I'm pretty sure they use pectin, which in my opinion just makes them, makes gummies so much better than gelatin ones. But they're delicious. I finished this pack already on the show, and I'm already into this one in addition to my own chocolate bunny I just ate. So
It's really
More-
cool
more edibles than
styling
normal.
of those packages. I like that.
yeah, I mean, they were on point with branding. I'll tell you what, everything had like wood molding, wood
Renewable,
paneled,
renewable feel.
wood paneled ceiling, and like wood, like carved out wood for tables and counters, and just a lot of wood. Very like organic feel from the moment you walked in the building.
Warm, right?
Was there
Yeah.
wood?
What are you holding up, Tara?
One of their pre-rolls. It's the black cherry garlic.
Have you tried that one yet?
Oh yeah.
What do you think? You getting some garlic on it?
No, actually I don't. It's more like flowery and floral kind of. It's really good. So and then I also got it in the batter, and it tastes way different this way. So it's really cool to see the two differences and how different they do taste. Super cool though. Nice packaging, wood, nice renewable wood tops. We can reuse this again.
I like those a lot.
So we should
I
tell
like being
people.
able to reuse them. You can
who got
probably
to
put
go?
3 or 4 doobies in here if you want to reuse it.
Yeah. Alternate them, squeeze them in. But yeah, what I loved was right when you walked in there, like they said, for one, just the overall aesthetics was that's just pleasing to me. I love that wood and everything like that. It just looks nice to me. So I won't repeat all that, but on the fucking table right there off to the side where you're waiting, to get called back, there's a sheet of paper that's, got not plastic. What do you call that? Whatever the fuck on it. Laminated. It's a laminated sheet of paper, but it's got every one of their strains in flour, every one of their strains in concentrate form, the strain name, the cross of that strain. It has the fucking not only what you would expect with cannabinoid test results, but it also had they listed the 5 most present terpenes in order. So you could see you could search their product just by terpene if you wanted to.
That's what you want
That
to
was
do
cool.
right there.
Yeah, it was pretty. We had that right there on that table. Yeah, that's a great. Whoever just
They
pulled
had
it up.
people constantly coming in while we were there, and the lady waiting on them knew who they were as soon as they came up. It was really nice. I mean, it made me feel really nice to know that they had that one-on-one relationship with them. And she was so knowledgeable. Shout out to Kim. She makes the edibles there. Did a wonderful job, and I love the taste of them. So great
I
job.
love it. I love the entryway. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super
Yeah,
nice.
That's right with
Very
the
soothing.
That's where you wait right there too. It's so
I
it's
heard
You
you
felt
can.
like you needed to go get a massage there.
And that's important, Tara, what you said about how she knew repeat customers.
hmm
People like that shit. They want
I
to know that you make a difference when you go somewhere and spend your money on their
Mhm.
product. So that's good to hear that
Totally.
they do that.
Very knowledgeable of everything they had. It was a super good time and very informative, and yeah, it was really neat.
It's always cool to be able to tour anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
For Girly,
Oh.
what'd you think for Girly?
Sorry, I think that just like froze out my computer trying to share like 4K footage like that. It was pretty sweet. I mean, it was very interesting setup. It's I mean, they got a great location, I'll be honest with you. The biggest challenge from a micro business standpoint, other than the limiting factors of plant counts and I guess logistic challenges in terms of you can only sell on your property. One of the biggest challenges is location. And, with most of the municipalities here in Michigan, with micro businesses, if they even allow them, basically, require them to be in manufacturing or industrial zones due to the fact that micro businesses are allowed to process. So, just like most processors, you got to, with those, explosive flammable chemicals, you got to go out in the industrial zone. So think about, going to visit Spartan Grown's micro business in like some crazy industrial part of Lansing or Flint or whatever. It's just so unlikely that you're going to get customers that just, oh, look at that, it's a weed shop, let's go check it out. And you're also very unlikely to get people to travel to you when you're maybe a little bit harder to get to. So he is pretty much right outside. Well, I won't say right outside downtown, but he's in, the metro, whatever, Ann Arbor area. Very, very busy in his area. And, he's got I'm not sure how many 1,000-square-foot building, but it's just enough to have, a retail storefront, a small processing area and kitchen, and 3, pretty much, I wouldn't say large, but good sized flower rooms. They're not,
Yeah,
they're not class C flower rooms.
The space as best as he can, unless he does a double stack or something. And even then, I don't know if he's got the height for that.
Yeah, if he swapped to LEDs, he probably could, but not with HIDs. He's currently running HIDs, but one of the cool things for me, like right now, other than all the the interest in micro businesses and processing, was that he is growing all organically. And so he's, maybe Spartan's a better person to talk about this, but, he had full irrigation set up for, salts and all this stuff, and then ended up switching over to organics, I think is the way the story goes. And, now he's just doing some organic amendments, but he's growing in organic soil, and it's, I don't know, you want to expand on that, Spartan? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, actually, I love where he's getting his soil. He's getting his soil from Morgan Composting, which is a local Michigan big company. They supply, farmers even, and they have Dairy Do, as you probably recognize that. You
Yes,
see
sir.
that compost? They're the people behind that. So he has a custom blend that they've devised for his facility that he likes, and he just gets it delivered in these big ass tote, those big super sacks.
Those things were huge.
Yeah, and then like for Girly said that they filled them up. What size pots were those? 20s?
I think so. What were they?
They were bigger than
they were
10.
bigger than
Picture
that.
again.
They were way bigger 10s.
I want to
They're
say
like
like
20s.
25 or something like that. Yeah.
That's good.
It was taking 2 of my hands to try to do this on one of them. Granted, I know they probably just
every day. He lifts every one of those pots every day.
And I was trying to remember. I think we asked him if he reuses his soil or not, and
He does
said
not.
No.
He
So-
donates it to friends and stuff, and they reuse it.
Right, but when you get into the 25 gallons of soil for each of these beasts, you really have to hope that when you break your root ball up and stuff, that you're, again, that whole ROI, because you're a small business and you're really.
I talked to him about it. He said he just isn't really willing to take that jump now, because now that he has a license, he can't really afford to risk an
afford to
entire
fail.
crop.
Yeah.
Well, risk an
There's
entire
not a
crop.
lot of room for R&D as a micro business.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's plant count, right? That's the other big thing they're going up against. He only has 150 plant count. So to maximize that, you have to grow big ass plants, which he's doing. And he told me his average plant is he's wanting to see at least 2 pounds. So that's hard to risk 2 pounds on
Just one
Just
plant.
trying
Yeah.
something out. So that's kind of what his answer was, which is a smart answer. You know, and I couldn't fault him for that.
And I don't know if we already mentioned this, but we should mention he was on this show recently. So I don't know if we have an episode date or number but go back and
Oh,
watch
that's
his
asking
interview.
way too much.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I
in
know,
the
so
it's in
far.
the playlist somewhere.
The archive.
3 weeks
Just
ago, maybe.
do Michigan Bros Grow Show, Wine World Organics. It'll come right up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't like a month ago or something.
It was right before
138.
Hash Mash.
138 3 weeks ago.
That's a one.
Thank you.
Anybody out there hearing the misfits in their head? We are 138.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
Anyways, it was cool to see that him doing it pretty much, you know, being a caregiver and just stepping up. He's got his office is basically a hallway where he's got video cameras. So he said he always peeks his head in there to check to see if anybody's waiting in line up front, because then he'll go and help at the front desk, and he's all over that place. That's respectable, man. I love to see that hustle, and he's just trying to do that. Shout out to Eric, man. He treats you like a king in there. He's got a little. We didn't even talk about the extract thing for Growly, about like a little blast-proof room he's got with just a little tiny setup, and he does it all himself.
Yeah, it looked like maybe maybe it was a 5 pound unit. It was a Extraction Tech Solutions, but yeah, C1D1 was very small. I mean, but I mean, he had freezer storage for fresh frozen, you know what I mean? Plenty of great use of the space, and all with, you know, employees, you know, fewer than are on one hand, really, you know what I mean? So it's surprising, and it's efficient, and it definitely looks challenging, but I think they're doing a pretty solid job.
I'm bummed I missed it. I really would have loved to have seen it and gone through it with you guys. But
I'm sure he'd love to have you.
Oh my God,
you know what I
You're
mean?
more than welcome to come back. I'm sure.
Red, yeah.
okay,
I mean,
cool.
yeah, he was very welcoming, very professional.
Those are the kind of places that I love to see make it, man. I hope he, you know, is really successful, and that's awesome. And he has a great location, because, you know, we all know the big guys in any kind of industry goes in and tries to buy up all the little guys. And it's just really important, you know, like Tara said, is they treat everybody like, you know, they recognize their customers and they treat them well. And Tara mentioned there was somebody that had already had driven from like Cincinnati
From Fort Wayne. It was
Fort Wayne.
That's where Fort Wayne they were driving from. And I told him, I was like, I used to do this too. When I'd find a dispo or somebody that treated me good, that's where I honed in on and kept going. So I totally was like, yes, that's awesome. I was really excited to hear that.
I'm really glad to hear
They had
that.
steady people the whole time we were there.
Yeah, they were busy.
They were busy. They've got a great location. I mean,
Well,
that's awesome.
It was like a conversation. It was like me, Tara, and Baked in the car and riding the way home. And I don't know who said it, or I don't remember. But basically what was said was like, if we got to go to a dispensary for anything, we'll fucking go. Like, it was either me or Baked, because it's only 40-minute drive for us. It wasn't with Tara. But we'll drive 40 minutes to go to that place rather than to any place. We'll drive past the places in town here to go there, because we've seen the fucking grow. The fucking weed doesn't leave there. It stays there until he gets to it's all from.
Do we even say that he's got, when you walk in and in the waiting room, he has live feeds of his flower rooms on the screens right there in the waiting room. You can look exactly where. Oh my God.
That's super cool.
That's cool for growers, but I thought immediately when I was there, I thought in my head, I'm like, oh, that's for if I was up here helping the customer, I could still keep an eye on my grow.
Why can't it be both?
Well, he's a jack of all trades,
that's what I was thinking.
He might be multitasking like that.
Yeah, that's fair. But I will say about location, I think Baked called the mount right like kitty corner as Cookies, giant blue building. You know what I mean? We're just laugh.
Yeah. Yep.
Talk about all advertising, right?
The big, ugly blue.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
That's right. You still see people wearing the
picture of the
hoodies and
Cookies
shit.
building, and it said, "Saw a piece of shit in Ann Arbor today."
Yeah, they just opened. They just opened a couple weeks ago too. I've been
Do
watching.
they have Cookies up in Canada, Genevieve? Do they?
Not the strain. We're not talking about the strain. We're talking about the actual brand.
You want to hear a secret? Yeah, we do for sure. There's a big one in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured that he had to be up there too.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Well,
that's
that's
one
cool.
place I refuse to go to, man.
I'm glad that it sounds like the tour went really well, and yeah, go spend your money at Winewood if you need to, people. You
And
know,
that's
You're
in
near,
Ann
go
Arbor.
there. Ann Arbor.
help a caregiver on the come up.
If you go on Instagram and look up Winewood Organics, they have a web page as well. But if you go on their Instagram, it has a link to their web page and it has the directions and the address.
Google Maps. It's on Google Maps. It's literally
Yeah.
on like what, Winewood Avenue or something like that.
Yeah, that's the name of the road it's on, Winewood Ave or something.
That's awesome. I like it. Much success to him.
Well, he's living a lot of people's dream that are watching this show right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, totally.
What what's crazy? I don't want to take up
It
too
makes
much
you
time,
want to
but
root for him even harder.
one thing just to think about, like the not give up spirit of Genevieve here. He said that he went from, because that was his caregiver spot originally. So he went from caregiver to commercial spot. Took him 6 years of jumping through hoops and struggle and going through this and inspections and this and that. And because you have to remember, if you have a kitchen in there, now you have all the food inspections. If you have a concentrate thing, now you have that inspection. And then it's just all this 6 years, he said, before he got a license to he could actually allow someone to go in there to buy weed.
So the two regulations that one of them I pointed out, one of them he pointed out regarding the processing area is to have the ability to make edibles as a processor in the state of Michigan. There's essentially one requirement, and it's a 3-bin sink for wash, rinse, and sanitize. If you have that, you can make edibles, you know?
Wow.
So
dude,
he
that's
had
crazy.
that there. But the other thing that he pointed out, which I hadn't really thought about, is he's like, yeah, with the C1D1, we essentially have to have a power hookup like a hospital would. And he says, you know, if we lose power, we have to have a generator backup, right? But that generator backup has to have the C1D1 operating within 15 seconds of losing power.
What
He
does
goes,
that mean? C1D1.
It's the room, the explosion proof room that you operate, like the equipment I run, like hydrocarbon equipment, you know, extraction equipment in. It's essentially a constant fan that moves air in and out of the room, exhaust it out, and depending on the levels of hydrocarbons or you know in the room, it'll make that fan go a little bit quicker. It's a static free environment. It's got static free plugs, and it's all, you know.
Dude, you're blowing my mind. I
Fire
never even thought
suppression.
about any of this. Like,
Oh, dude, if there's actually an explosion, the doors just go boom, they close. So like you're just in there until it goes out.
And what's that cost?
Well, the cheaper ones are under 50 grand. I would spend closer to
Holy
100
fuck.
grand. Yeah, you're looking at pretty much 80-90 grand to get one of those installed. I mean, they come in trailers and all this crazy stuff too, but gosh, where was I going at this? Okay, so the 15-second thing, right? You have to have that fan operational within 15 seconds. Otherwise, you could have a buildup and an explosion, right? Not good. So his generator was kicking on, you know, booting up and then turning on the C1D1 in like, I don't know, was it like 26 seconds or something he said? So it just wasn't fast enough. So he had this electrician come in and basically hook up a battery backup that would run the C1D1 for those few seconds, you know, those 10, 12 seconds or whatever, to get it operational within that time frame. For then the generator to, you know, run it. And he said that, you know, the inspector, of course, is in there like unplugging stuff, you know, just kind of testing out. And he's like, all right, that works. That's pretty cool. You know, you guys figured it out. But yeah, just, you know, the wild challenges that everyone experiences in this industry, or at least, you know, every licensee I've talked to here in Michigan has experienced challenges like this. But man, it's just like a 1 or 2 man team, which they were when they started, to be throwing this much money and really your life's work at it just for the shot is just, it's a big jump to make. Hats off.
Cheers.
Agreed.
And thanks to Miss Nudie. Sorry, real quick. I think she's getting delays and needs to jump off. So thanks so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Definitely. It's really cool.
What an inspiration for women. She's really
I just turned off my camera.
super great lady.
I work
Okay,
better with my
All right, cool.
camera.
Your voice is still here.
But I'm gonna jump off here just because I keep getting delays, and I'm trying to stay on. But I'm gonna put the YouTube show on, so I'll be in the chat because it's easier. It'll be easier, and I can hear you guys from there.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks for
very much.
joining.
Bye.
Great seeing you and talking
Thank
to
you
you.
so much.
Appreciate it very much.
Bye, guys.
That was great.
That was very good. That was very good. Yeah.
Can we get some thumbs up in the chat for Miss Nudie, please?
Some clouds, smoke clouds.
Clouds,
please.
anything.
Well,
You
now
be
that
the
I
judge.
know all this extra information about Winewood, it makes us want to go even more because we live like a few miles away from there, anyways. And then we just have
Totally.
to go over
It
there.
was
You go in there and
very-
just ask for Eric, and I'm sure he'll
Yeah,
give you
for
guys
sure.
the same tour. I'm serious.
Tara
Yeah,
shared
we'll
her Durban that they grew. Was there a Durban, wasn't it, this morning?
Yep.
That
Mhm.
was so fucking nice. I dry hit that, I think. That was so
Yeah.
fucking nice.
I was happy with
That's
everything.
what I want to try is this bourbon.
Thought it was great.
Yep, that's my interest for sure.
Very happy.
You got a
Check it
Sunday
out.
driver too, Red. I got the live resin. His Sunday
Oh,
driver.
nice. Very
It's good.
cool.
They've
Very
got their
cool.
whole menu online, Red, with the prices and everything. You can go to their
Yeah.
website.
And the
and check
prices
it
are
out.
fair, very
Very-
fair. And then when you go there, they give you a more discount because it's your first time.
Mhm.
So even the prices on that you see online, you're gonna get a better deal than that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they do good work, man. They got a nice website.
How's everyone else's growth going right now? I actually did a short walkthrough on last night's show on GML with Spartan, testing out his lights. But I'll be honest, my other room's like pretty empty right now because I'm trying to fill it and just harvested a bunch of stuff, including some Durban. So it's kind of sad in there. I've got a lot of light on the floor, I'll be honest, but the other room's like, looking nice and full and lush. But it's just the nature of having a bunch of 1 gallon clones right now waiting to get transplanted into something they can flower in.
What's on deck? What's on those 1
It's all the
gallons?
same stuff, man. It's clementine, a lot of clementine, of course. Lime skunk, Durban poison, Mr. Clean, and I actually found I found one seed in some Durban, like I don't know how long ago. It's just one of those like Ziploc bags where I wrote on it, and Durban times question mark. And so I popped that, and it's I don't know, like on its 5th node, probably be ready to be topped and transplanted. We're gonna see what kind of stem rub and stuff we get on that, but yeah, pretty much all the same stuff, and nothing new in the hopper yet in terms of genetics other than that. But I don't know, I kind of am getting the itch. I think it's about time to do a 2022 pheno hunt, right?
What would you pop next?
I have no idea. Whatever seeds I come across in the next few months, man. I don't know anything about genetics. I'm not about hype at all. I
This
just
guy's
want the
all
terps.
about the terps, man. We got to find the way.
You gotta
for
go.
you.
You gotta get some of Brandon Russ gear. Then I'm telling you,
There you
whatever
go.
the fuck he's got on his website, get some of his shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're live, right? Let me order this real quick.
We're
before you guys
live,
hop on.
right?
He's got limerilla seeds and all sorts of different lime.
Limerilla,
lime
he's
strains.
got lime lights, black lights. All those are fucking.
But
Lime
do I
light's
like?
really
Do I
good.
add something new though? You know what I mean? I have so much citrus right now. I do have the garlic punch, and then I have this Mr. Clean, which we'll see on its own. When I run it, but on the plant itself, it very much smells like a cherry lime with a.
So, which terp do you miss the most?
I say you
And
need
then-
some funky stuff in your lineup.
That's kind of how I'm feeling too. Sequence. The first one that came to my mind when you said that, Skilbo, was Sweet Pink Pie, just because it was so stinky, like just so
Exactly.
different from everything else. And when you mixed it with something, it took any side of the spectrum that you looked at, and it made something
Just
new.
play with the ratios on it. Then you know what I mean. So you could put a little kick to the Durban, or you could bring a little lime to it. So you know
Mhm.
what I mean.
It's like that Jilly Punch was kind of like that because it was Jilly Bean and which was kind of like the orange pheno of Jilly Bean, and then Garlic Punch. But yeah, there you go, Tara. So that was like in my
I love
own opinion the most funky one I had recently. But
It's pretty funky, and I like it.
tried
And that's why I
Giant
like
Burger?
it.
Have you tried any Donny Burger yet? Or you got that Han Solo burger? Did you try that for Grilly? Yeah.
Ooh,
oh no, actually, I'll take a dab of that right now.
Ooh, that's
But
good.
I did not cross, but mix one of my clients' Donny Burger with my Clementine. I had that Clement burger, and that was pretty good.
I just harvested my Donny Burger. It's hanging. So
Dude, that one.
We'll see a couple weeks.
That one was a
hopefully.
showstopper.
I mean, it looked fucking beast, man. And I think it might have been because it was a re-veg. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to normally just. But I've had other people send me pictures of theirs fucking giving really big, yields and shit too. So maybe it's just in the genetics. But so the Han Solo burger that you're about to try, if it's Han Solo burger, which I assume it is GMO cross Celery OG. So it's a GMO times an OG. So they took that Han Solo burger and they crossed it back to GMO, and that's what they call Han Solo burger, or that's what they call Donnie burger.
Oh no, you got an empty one.
That Larry OG. Oh no. Yeah, dude, the first time I tried that, I was fucking like, holy shit, this is fucking intense flavor.
But the Donnie, for me, it's just like the high was so strong, which surprised me because it's not something I usually come across.
It's got to be so popular with my hash brethren because it dumped, for hydrocarbons. It was one of the highest returns I've seen in a long time. I'll be honest.
It's that GMO genetics, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I got this Kingfisher in chat says I should get Banana Daddy over there. I got Banana Daddy in there. It looks fucking nice too, and that smells like
got the hot knife.
The
hot
what?
knife is cool. He showed us that. Yeah, he showed us that when we were at the.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, they stole the design from Dr. Dabber.
Why not?
Bam.
That is cool.
That's pretty nice.
It's just a little bit cleaner. You know what I mean? It's USB-C charging. It's, I don't know. It's simple.
And it's fun.
It is fun.
It is fun. It looks fun.
And you can sit there and just, roast some dabs on it. And I mean, here.
It's a really expensive
Whatever's
hot
left
knife.
on there. Let's see. Yeah, they see that? Just a little bit of smoke going.
Yeah, it's like a little
that nectar
ceramic
collector.
knife or whatever.
Yeah, a little ceramic one.
Speaking of returns, I made some RSO. I used about a unit of material, and I got back about 15%. I got back, what was it, almost 60 grams? No, 60 grams? Almost 60 grams. Yeah.
Is that a good return?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not sure. That's the
ask
return.
Spartan.
So I'm not sure. Spartan, I don't know.
Is that a trim run of product, Red?
Yeah, I don't know. Mostly trim. There's a lot of, I mean, not so much trim.
Sea buds
plus C's. Yeah. There's a little bit of both. There may have been some material that was worked. No, that wasn't material that was worked. This one was not any material that was worked, but it was material from 2021, maybe last year. Material from last year. Yeah. So not anything off of these last couple of batches. So it was material from last year. So, but it was only a 24-hour run in the alcohol. We didn't wash it for very long. We just put it out for about that long. And yeah, family. It was like a little bit of both. Probably 50-50 trim and sea nug. But yeah, I don't know. Sounded like a high number. I figure you get what?
15% seems like a good number if you have like
seems like it.
20 is a good number, right?
I've never weighed anything. I don't know. I've never even tried.
Just stuff as much as it'll hold, right?
Make shit. That's all I do.
Yeah, we got back. Was that like 35 1.2s. Every syringe weighs about 1.2, and then we got 6 gram syringes out of it. So a little bit more than 60 grams.
How much alcohol do you run?
A little more than 50 grams
for a unit.
Did you run a gallon? A unit? No. Yeah, a couple gallons. It was they're 1,750 milliliter. Almost 3 of those. So like 1 full for sure, and then like 2 halfers. So like we'll call it like 2.5, 2 3/4. I'm somewhere between 2.5 and 3 of those 17.
Isn't it great to be able to reclaim so much of that though? And it's not just such a fucking kick in the ass for that.
I reclaimed 2 completely full and a little bit of a third one.
Fuck yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah, that was all reclaimed, and it's reclaimed at a higher grade, So that
really, so instead of being 190,
better.
now it would be like 195. 2?
Well, just talk about in planes of percent of alcohol.
Approaching 200.
Yeah. 190 proof is 95% alcohol. So yeah, you're more closer to 100% alcohol. Because it's almost. But
We need that fucking
that
bomb zone thing that for Girly was talking about. C1D1.
Fortunately, that Ito doesn't off. I can't smell it at all when it's running. The only time I smell is when I'm
because it's got that seal that fucking Spartan needed so bad.
So
Yeah,
you want to hear some
rubber.
funny Skilbo when it comes to flammable but non-explosive chemicals, I guess is how you'd classify it. It's called a C1D2 area.
Oh, there we go. I'm
that's
mixing up my
typically-
androids here, man.
That's typically the area outside of your C1D1. You could make C1D2 because then you could put like all your short path distillation and rotovap, whatever else over there. And yeah, everyone can do it differently, of course, but
Rotovaps are cool.
regulations. Yeah, you know what? And you guys are honestly making me all this rotovap talk in the last couple weeks, mostly thanks to Spartan. You guys are gonna make me bust this freaking thing out and clean it and try to set it up again. I don't have room for it. I don't.
My buddy Spartan does.
I know. I
He'll run
tried.
R&D for you.
Great, but
He wants a bigger one. The one I got's too small for him.
shout out to my buddy Eric who offers me a bigger one.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I'm gonna fuck with that.
We got through
Spartan
the
started off with the
process.
smaller Ito. You had that. What was it called? The first one, the little one.
The Source Turbo.
Source Turbo. That's the one that old man got off of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got that so that you could move up to the bigger unit, and probably would have went bigger than that if they would have had one.
I wouldn't buy any fucking thing else from those people because I feel like that I shouldn't have my machine like taking a shit on me after 5 years. But I guess nothing can last.
What
for
is
more
the
than 5
cost
years.
difference between the machine and
I think it's
the
honestly probably just the vacuum pump that's taking a shit, but still it's annoying.
Oh,
So you need a vacuum pump? How big of a vacuum pump? I
No,
got an
this-
old 6
this is
our
one,
us.
Master Cool. They
This is-
just
I
gotta
need-
change the
I need it
oil.
to work with the unit that's fucking integrated into a unit that I don't have the programming for.
Can't you just find the hose and we can just connect
Find
the
an
hoses?
adapter for that at Menards.
Chances with alcohol. That's a great idea.
Oh yeah, no, this is not a high end pump.
This is get her done.
So you got a new lid for it, and then it's still not.
No, the lid works fine. It's the vacuum pump's starting to take a shit on me. Like,
Oh, man.
I don't think it's pulling as hard. I can tell that it's really struggling.
All right, so I got a
But
good
it's taking
5
longer.
years of running it, and it might.
Yeah, you got about 5 years. Well, I
my
did
pace
run the
versus
fuck out of
yours. That's about 10 years. So should be pretty good.
it. Yeah, I did run the fuck out of it, and so, honestly, if I didn't have the option of the Rotovap, I would just buy another one and begrudgingly. But
What's the warranty on that sucker? Just a year?
just a year.
Yeah, my warranty's over.
Ride it till the wheels fall off, Red.
I had to buy the lid. They didn't give it to me. And then, so I just like, fuck this. I'll get the actual lab equipment. Because then if one piece is fucked up, like a lid or a seal, I'll just replace that and not have to fucking deal with sending it back and, all this bullshit. So I'm just going to get the actual lab equipment, which is a Rotovap, due to my research. And that's the way I'm going to go. That way, if it's more modular, I can do different things. I can cool with I didn't even know this, but the one that Eric has said it's actually cooled with dry ice, so that's going to be interesting to look into. But they do it with just liquid cooled, so it's usually just like a water chiller or something like that.
Yeah, you can actually get I think it's called a water aspirator. And it's it's basically like a baby version of a chiller. You just can swap out ice into it. You know what I mean? It's a very, very cheap way of doing it, but chillers get expensive really quick, and I don't know. It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, but set it and forget it. I'll pay once for the ease of use.
Dude, you'll be sitting there taking pictures and videos the whole time. Trust me, it's so fascinating.
Yeah, I'll sit there and get high and just stare at that fucking thing spin.
Watching the your ethanol, start condensing on the coils and drifting off into your flask on the side. You're just like, give it back to me.
Spartans to be evil scientists in no time.
Yeah, man. Just don't get your hot water bath too hot.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that is interesting, because he had to take into effect not only that you're pulling a vacuum so that the boiling point's dropping, but also elevation matters. I didn't realize that until I
That's
started
true,
fucking
too.
with this Ito. That elevation also affects your boiling point. So you got to fucking do some calculation there.
Colorado, baby. Those people. Altitude.
So you can't just watch a YouTube video and be like, "Oh, I'm just going to copy what they're doing."
We got Painted
Ooh,
Lady
Snack
on my
Showdown.
favorite Cheez-Its.
You know what's up too for Growly. I love
Extra
goldfish.
flavor. Oh,
Wow.
those are delicious though. Freaking yogurt covered pretzels or white chocolate covered pretzels.
Okay,
I
you
love
guys are
cheddar.
having a snack off. I
It's a
see.
snack
You have all
showdown.
good choices.
I've eaten this
Are
whole
they? I
thing.
tried them. Are they yogurt?
Yogurt.
They are yogurt.
Oh,
They're just late to the game, Spartan. They're
Those
like
are good, Becca.
an hour and 43 minutes late to the game.
Way late. That's okay.
He eats in the
Some
pre-show.
of us are leaders.
I
Some
just
of us
been
aren't.
eating edibles on the
Give
show.
This is my snack over here.
Red's
What,
eating,
what the
Oh,
fuck is
peanuts?
that?
No,
Pistachios.
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 There you go.
Oh hell yeah!
I know my
we're-
nuts.
Over there
I
eating
know.
nuts.
I have a 2-pound bag of
Yeah, I kept my
pistachios
wisdom
over
teeth
here.
for a reason.
Those are one of my favorites.
Have them nut crunchers.
Good shit.
Sequence. Do you remember when fucking Red was so pissed off because he left his fucking nutcrackers at old man's
Yes.
house?
Oh,
for
dude,
months?
Well, nobody, you
months.
know,
I
I
gotta
was
get
the
back
only
home
one
to
to
old
crack a
man's.
few nuts,
tell
so
you.
there was a lot of nuts left in the bag, and I got home with the bag of nuts, and I was like, "Damn, I can't crack any of these nuts unless I use a hammer." And I just tried, and I almost broke my
Hammer and a towel.
counter. So yeah,
Go hit the counter.
You did it
take
inside.
Take it
Read
outside.
this. He is always memorable. Anytime I
Put him in a
hang with Red,
vice.
always memorable. Always.
Snow
Always a Red
ground.
story.
Passing
We've
the
also
scissors.
seen him
He
dig.
came walking in. He can not only did
trench
he
with a
have the
hammer.
nut, not only did he have the nutcracker, he had his own nuts too. He brought it all.
We'll bring
He
a
was
bag of
ready and
nuts.
prepared.
That was his like passing thing or whatever for the deal. Remember?
Everyone's like, "I'll bring this. I'll bring this. I'll bring this." I'm like, "Well, that's
I'll
all
bring the
like
nuts.
the
I'll
good
bring
shit."
nuts.
So like, I'll bring some nuts.
Red's always got to have nuts in his mouth.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah,
For sure.
Nuts should be somewhere. Yeah, there should
Almond
always be
Joy.
nuts.
When Red starts showing
should
up
be
with
enjoyed.
shelled pistachios, we know he's made it.
True that. If you get them that are already shelled, you're gonna gain weight fast. Like,
Oh,
that's
some
the, you
calories
gotta
up.
have a limiting.
I've
At
been-
least for me, I gotta have a limiting factor. I'll just shovel them in.
Gotta balance your omega
I
6
don't
and
think you're in
3
any danger of
fatty oils.
being overweight anytime soon. So just continue
No.
to do that.
Dude, I could eat a couple pounds of nuts in a day for sure.
Do
Are
it.
you a whole sunflower seed chewer or are you a sheller and a chewer?
Oh, sheller.
Oh,
Sheller.
yeah, shell.
I bet your
Oh,
Red
I-
has done. Wait a minute.
I chow them suckers down. I will muddle them suckers into like a
mortar and
a ball of like of
Ugh.
thorns
Like
in
the
my
boiled
mouth.
Thorns.
Yeah,
That'll do.
it's like chewing on a,
It's like
on
a pencil
urchin.
sharpener.
It's like sucking on an urchin for
You
a
do it
minute,
with whole peanuts too. You eat the
and
peanut
then I'll take
I'm
this
sorry, Becca.
blob of
It's
like
weird.
what is it, shell mush mash.
At least
out.
she knows it's
God.
weird.
Mulch.
Oh.
It's just
Dumb.
sunflower
Mulch.
mulch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, might as
sunflower
well
mulch.
spit it into the compost.
Every now and then,
He does.
some of it will go down the throat, and then I'll think, "Man, that's not going to be good later." You know,
Thorny.
it's gonna
It's like
be
nature's gum,
difficult.
right?
Yeah. So,
Red likes prickly snacks.
So I don't buy those things for us to eat.
we, yeah.
Good call.
And honestly, it's been a couple years since I've really gotten into the old sunflower habit because I notice every time I really like habitually go through a couple good handfuls of sunflowers that I would get really sleepy and I would need a nap. And I started doing some
Oil.
research on it, and there's natural like melatonin. What are they?
And it's
They're-
high
I
in fat. A
don't
lot of
think
those-
that they might
Do you
be
have the dark sunflower
polypeptides or-
seeds, like black sunflower? Because they're high, the highest oil content is those black
David's
sunflower seeds.
sunflower seeds, man. You know, they're
The
the gray
baseball
ones. Yeah, they're super
Big
light
ones
gray.
covered in
yeah, they're light gray.
Cool Ranch.
Red, did
It's
you ever
Like,
get the
there's a
ones with
lot
the
of
handle?
fat in that, and
Yeah,
that could just be
pickle.
putting you to sleep.
It's like a
from all those
laundry
calories.
detergent bucket.
Yep.
No, dude. No, I never did go that deep. Just the giant bags, but I would get the barbecue was my jam. I'd get barbecue or the
Used to love chewing on them
flavored
things.
ones, or just
Jim
they
Beam
all-
barbecue ones were my
Yeah.
jam.
It just made me so sleepy for a while. So there's a natural sedative. Well, there's a it's an amino acid. That's what it is. I think it's amino acid, and it turns into melatonin, or it's similar to melatonin, something like that, and it'll knock you out.
Red's trying to say he's sensitive to sunflower
I'm
seeds.
sensitive to that specific amino acid that comes off them bad boys. At least I was a couple years ago. So.
Isn't there also like lecithin in that?
That's one of them too, but that's I think
I would think that the amount of
that's a
fats
blood-brain
and
barrier
carbs
thing.
and
Yeah,
stuff would
that
outweigh
might that might do other things, Scobo. Actually, maybe the lecithin's causing my cannabis to work more efficiently or something. Who knows, man?
I mean, I hear you guys grow the plants. Have you ever tried, just roasting them yourself or whatever, flavoring them?
I have. Yeah. Well, actually, so I'll eat them raw. I like eating them raw because they're good.
It's
they
more
have
of a mush and less
taste.
prickly.
Yeah, I'll crack them, for the most, because they're not salty. There's no
Red's like a
reason
fucking
to
macaw.
mush on them. I'll just
He's a
crack
crazy
them.
person.
Put one in my mouth, crack it, eat the seed, and then flick out the shells. And those are delicious too. But yeah, I let them dry out, and then I like eating them raw though. It's good and fresh. I'll cook them. Here and there, and then same deal with our zucchinis, or not zucchini.
Nobody's gonna take that one.
I
Other
just
squash.
had
Cook
I just had a picture flash in my
It's too late
head
to
of
show.
Red with his hands behind his back and a big plate of seeds on the table, and he was just picking at them.
Oh yeah, there we go. Seed eating contest.
The Red
We do a
Robin.
seed eating contest. Put a bucket full. We'll go into a bucket. Bury your head in a bucket like an
Home Depot
ostrich.
5-gallon bucket.
Ugh.
The orange.
Now I'm
one.
just imagining you with a whole mouthful of seeds at once.
Like a chipmunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
just
many you can
packing
fit
the
in
teeth
there.
really big.
That's a good question. I wonder how many sunflower seeds you could really pack in
Please
the
don't
mouth.
try.
I mean,
I bet you it's over
100?
200. Over 200.
200 probably.
200. You think?
Yeah, I think you personally could do 287. Oh, never mind, 312.
Oh man, I feel
340.
late sesh
340.
contest.
That's easily 340.
Red, you got to do it now.
Oh,
No.
tomorrow night on the late sesh,
That's,
don't
uh,
have any.
a giveaway for how many?
Come by and chew the fat.
Loving hearing about
Becca hates this idea.
No, we're not doing it.
No, we're not doing
no
it.
ideas.
How many nuts can Red fit in his mouth? Yeah.
I'll be
Oh,
passed
tagline.
out. Passed out.
Poor guy, they're gonna make you choke.
Oh man, you're
Like the cinnamon challenge.
I feel like
You know if you'll do it.
The
sounds
cracker whistle.
it sounds slightly dangerous, so I don't know if I should.
It actually
Yeah.
does. Don't
Sounds
try
like a
this
So
choking
at
try
home.
to
hazard.
breathe in and then
Does
start
sound like
going.
a choking
Do
hazard.
not try that at home.
Bad.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use anything without a handle, Red.
Yeah, nothing it doesn't dissolve.
Damn, that kombucha looked chunky, Spartan,
It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good.
isn't
It's
it?
just called
Chewy
Bloom.
Booch.
This is the special edition for this whatever season.
GTS.
called
I like the
Bloom.
GT. I like the GT ones.
Elderflower, jasmine, and violet. I'll eat violets. I have them grown in my yard. I'll just pop those blooms off and eat them because the nectar tastes like honey. It's fucking good, but it doesn't taste like violet to me at all. So I don't know. False advertising, but it's still pretty good. It's not terrible.
It's got the essence of a violet in there.
Maybe it's just the essence.
But the overpowering sense of booch.
It's
Right
actually-
now is violet season. I've got a lot of them just popping up in the yard.
Detroit River Rat says the world record is 350. Back so you know, we could break a fucking world record on the late sesh.
Everyone is just trying to push Red to fucking hurt himself. Red, you don't
Yeah,
have
I
to.
don't want
I'm reading chat, so fortunately I'm not listening to the
I just
antics.
looked it up. It literally is 350.
Yeah, 350 people don't stuff face with sharp.
You've heard of
pointy
300.
seeds.
This is 300.
300, yeah. Do stuff face maybe with like I 300 cannabis seeds wouldn't hurt, right? I mean, that's gonna you can swallow that down. You're not gonna choke
Crack
on
a
that.
fucking crown that way.
That'd be good for you.
I don't know.
You're possibly
2016,
Dude,
a guy
I got
did
a
350
temp
Red.
on. I got a temp crown on, and it's so weird. It's this little flat, weird
Your
tooth.
jaw's got to readjust.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
weird. Oh, it's slowly.
When's
I'm
that
starting to be
appointment?
able to. It's not for another couple of weeks,
Okay.
but I'm slowly starting to be able to chew on that side of the mouth. And I keep chewing, and I'm like, no, don't do it because I'm gonna get food in there, and it's gonna like go in my,
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt. And
You're
I
like,
like,
oh shit,
so I
there's
like,
a tooth there.
I avoid it, and I'm like, oh wait, I can chew there. Wild. And then like I'll chew there, and I'm like, it's cool, man, it's cool. So it is
So-
nice.
It's all going on in his head every time he
Every
takes
time
a
I
bite.
take a bite.
It
Every
is.
bite.
And like the truth is, like, because I'm having him using this side of the mouth, the bottom teeth have like gone like kind of fragile and shit like that. So
You chew
they're
through those,
all
too.
getting used to it. They're all getting used to it. Yeah. I got one of them because my dentist like all your teeth are fine, but to me like they feel like they're loose and like all these other things. You know what I mean? But it's not. It's just all. I just haven't used it. It's just nerves. It's all just the nerves are unknown. But whatever, man. It's all in chewing fun. Eat your cannabis seeds. They're good for. It's a nut.
It's all chewing fun.
Fatty oils, omegas, good omegas. That's what I'm trying to get out.
Omega
It's
3s.
hefty, though. The shell is hard. I mean, that's fucking hard to get around. That's
You got to try to deshell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get them shelled. I don't
Gotta
know
get the
what
hearts.
brand she found. Was she found like, is that what it was? Maybe they're called
Hearts.
hearts. Yeah, they were totally deshelled or shelled,
That's a shitty job to have.
deboned. Yeah, man. Could you imagine that little
It's
machine?
got to be a machine that
It's
does that.
gotta
Gotta be some kind of machine.
Just like
Yeah,
crush
never
it
go
up.
with the
Long
man.
and a shaker table of some sort.
Well, dude,
separate
it
'em.
could run by like real tiny little gnomes with hammers and they're like,
Tiny
Nah,
little-
think of the labor costs, man.
little coconuts.
Nanobots.
Shout out to Lucas. Lucas
Decepticons.
saying that he had to change red if he did the seeds in the mouth. He had to change them too. What was it again? Chipmunk farms instead of
Chipmunk.
Red, I think you
That's
can
pretty
do
good.
351, man. I think you can do 351.
351. Are we talking cannabis seeds?
The world record sunflower
Sunflower.
seeds in one mouth. It's
Well, what about
350.
pumpkin? What
I
about
wonder if there's a specific
pumpkin
sunflower seed you have to use. I wonder if you can breed a really small seed and beat the record that way.
I think if there is a record that's 350, that there's people that have tried to break that, so it's not 351 yet, so it must be substantial. Or somebody has like
Yeah,
a
but
big
maybe-
fucking seagull fucking head, like the pelican, where they've got like a
Yeah.
gullet and shit.
And what about pumpkin seeds? Have you shelled your pumpkin seeds before? Have you ever tried pulling the shell off of that and eating the seed without it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I shell them all.
Don't call me pumpkin.
Or do you eat the shells on your pumpkin seeds?
No.
I don't like it. No, I like
I eat
pepitas.
shells.
No
my
pumpkin
mom
seeds.
baked-
I
Bacon
fry them up
yum.
with butter and
Good.
salt, and I eat them
love
that
I
way.
shell them, but I like pumpkin seeds.
You
I
do
like-
shell them sequence? You take them off?
Yeah.
is what we had, not shelled.
No, I just chow on those suckers. Usually I'll crisp them up enough
Put them on a
to eat 'em.
baking sheet.
I used to get the ones in a bag, and then it wasn't long before I realized the thickness of the salt coating on like I don't know
It's like
what
a
brand.
salt lick.
Dude, yeah, it was like a solid. I mean, the seed was like, let's say a millimeter, 2 millimeters thick. Now it's
Shit
thin.
came
let's
from
say,
the Dead
let's say
Sea.
an eighth of an inch thick, right? There was the thing was 3/8 of an inch thick.
Now you're changing units.
Dude, it was an eighth of an inch.
Like 50% of the weight
thickness
is salt.
50% salt, dude. It was so much salt. Look, the sodium content was like 1,500 milligrams in a little bag of fucking seeds. Good God.
Get a headache like a motherfucker whenever you eat 'em.
Yeah. I wonder why I'm so anxious as a kid.
So thirsty.
so thirsty. My
Why is my
lips,
pee so yellow?
my lips would be all cracked and shit.
That's why you have a
Cold
chapstick thing.
Cold sores and shit.
Cold
They're
sore.
really bad. No, I love making pumpkin seeds though. Those are delicious. But I'll crisp them up or I'll eat them raw. I will eat them raw, but I'll sometimes dig them out and they're delicious, like raw and shelled. Yeah. I
If it's growing in Red's backyard, he'll eat it.
Mhm.
They're really good. We just put them in the oven, bake them.
I was eating pumpkin flesh this last year. It was really good.
That
Like,
is
raw-
Fucking
raw-
animal.
It's just a squash. I mean, shit, if
Yeah,
you eat all the squash,
so
on
good.
Pumpkin's delicious.
So
Yeah.
good. No, I mean, I'm not like eating not like a watermelon sized piece of pumpkin. I mean, just like, little slices of it. It's just good.
Red showed up to Dead and Company with a big bag of fucking watermelon.
Watermelon.
Got to bring watermelon to the Dead Show, man. Got to bring some watermelon. That show. It was a little watermelon. It was a little guy. It was a little sweetie.
That's coming up again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Got tickets.
June 29th.
I got 4 tickets. I got my maximum. So, Scuba, if you want to come, I got a ticket.
I'm
for you.
in. I'm
Everybody else is
in.
trying to come. I got a ticket for you. I don't know, Sequence, if you're coming again, I got a ticket for you.
You get a ticket. You
You get a ticket. You get a ticket.
Maybe,
Yeah, man.
maybe
Everybody's
not.
gotta
I'm
get a
not sure
ticket.
yet.
It's a wild ride. This one is rumored to be their last tour. Whether or not that's, Bobby's last tour or whatever, it may just be this annotation of the
Be a good
Grateful
time.
Dead's tour, which changes every decade, man. They change, Rat Dog was a thing, they've been around for almost a decade, dude. They've been they got together in like 2015. It's been like 7 by the end of it. It'll be 8 years running. That's almost a decade.
I just want to say thanks to everybody for hanging out tonight. We're coming up on the last 2-minute warning here. It was awesome to have Miss Nudie come through and hang out with us, and the information flying back and forth with Growly, the visit to Winewood, all the other good things. I hope everybody has had a good night. Come through tomorrow night at 11 p.m. for the late session. If you've enjoyed the last half hour of conversation, that's kind of what you'll get more of, except it's going to get feistier. So come through and have a good time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Spread the Spores tomorrow night.
Thanks for celebrating our 3-year anniversary for us. This show was the 3-year anniversary show.
Yes, sir.
We didn't bring that up, but
Yay.
appreciate all you guys. Most everyone on the panel has been here the whole time, so thank you all of you guys, especially and everyone else for dedicating their time to the show. We've been doing this thing.
Happy 3 years. Holy shit.
Hit the
Yeah.
music.